Here's some stats on the 40 NBA referees who have officiated the most regular season games over the last decade. So first, this is how many games they've officiated. Josh Tiven has reffed the most regular season games over the last 10 years, plus the start of this season. Okay, next, this is home team winning percentage. So over the last 10 seasons or so, the home team in the NBA wins about 55 to 60% of the time. It varies year by year. But there's a couple of refs at the top here for whom the home team wins over 60% of the time they're officiating. The top two, pretty clearly, are James Capers and Scott Foster. Okay, moving on. The next stat is fouls per game. Now, this isn't fouls just called by that ref, it's overall fouls per game, but you can still see a couple of outliers. So first, at the bottom, Mark Davis and Eric Dalen tend to ref games with fewer fouls called on average. In fact, earlier this year, Kevin Garnett praised Mark Davis for his level-headed officiating during the Western Conference semifinals. On the flip side, Mitchell Irvin tends to officiate games with the most fouls called on average amongst these top 40 refs in the last decade. And that's actually a trend that we'll see with the next two stats as well, because this one is free throws attempted per game, and unsurprisingly, Mitchell Irvin is far and away number one here too. The aforementioned Eric Dalen is last on this one. Irvin's games average 5 more free throws overall than Dalen's games. Finally, this last stat is just overall points scored per game that these refs have officiated over the last decade. And what you see is, again, Mitchell Irvin clearly number one, which seems like a pretty strong correlation with the last two graphs. Some of the other refs who preside over high-scoring games are Gediminas Petraitis and Tyler Ford. And then games reffed by Courtney Kirkland have the lowest point totals on average amongst these top 40 refs. So anyways, which refs stand out to you? Let me know in the comments.